All right. We're doing Friday today, lads. So, I started doing Tuesday, but I had already done it. Either on my own, I think it was on my own because I couldn't find, I couldn't find the video where I went over that shit. So, yeah. Let's do this. Seems unusual. There we go. Okay. We're right above a big-ish demand zone. We already bounced above it. This day is pretty sideways. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. All right. Let's get going. We could pop into here. Maybe not. We did. Still bouncing. Let's draw this. We're certainly kind of, I would be biased to the long side here because of this break and this break back here and the higher lows and the break back inside the green channel. We bounced off of it. We came down, we made a higher low from the initial break of the green channel, came back inside the green channel, bounced out of the bottom of the green channel. So, I mean, if this was a nice candle, this could be a good place to go long, but nope. I love when that happens because I genuinely do, because you don't have to wonder if that was a good entry. I know that sounds sarcastic, but anytime the market's like, hey, your idea, it's not going to work. And it tells you plainly, definitively, that's fantastic. Okay. I paused because I thought it was going to bounce out of there. I don't see any good zones. There's just a lot of wicks here, so it's like, maybe it's bouncing out of this, but I don't see exactly what I'm looking for right now. I'm marinating like 5 pounds of chicken thigh right now, and I just want to cook the shit out of it, bro. I'm gonna put it in air fryer batches. I'm meal prepping, dude. You gotta take care of yourself a little bit, which is something I don't do. You gotta take care of yourself so your brain works, so you can trade without being emotional and make bad decisions. I'm always drinking on these. I would not trade actually while you're intoxicated. Really bad idea. But you know that. That's not novel advice. Okay, so that, I know I paused it right after. Could be decent. I don't love it, but like as far as stuff we've seen today, I think I'm also just like kind of looking for somewhere to get in now because we've been, but there's a lot of stalling going on up here. We did break above it finally, but like, could this be the low maybe? And it might have just worked right off the rip. Almost. Yeah, it did. I don't love that, but I think that could be a decent, because you're stalling, but you are still kind of pushing up higher now. And you would still be in that trade if you're holding. I mean, that's a big old. Okay, that would have taken you out eventually. But if you took the 1-to-1 on that, you'd be good. Let's just keep drawing these bad boys out. Which is a mistake I always make, is not drawing both sides when I have a bias. Just be aware of like what, like, hey, it is making big moves down. But I don't see any of these as good entry points on the way down, so. I'm still kind of, I'm like long-term, long bias, I feel like. Okay, hang on. Okay, we finally broke down. I'm wondering if this is a short sell right here on that red candle. This doesn't make me very confident. But what does that look like? Just down to VWAP, and then we're super top heavy, bouncing away from the low volume up here. Okay, I think like let's try that. Let's just see what happens. Damn. Okay. Yeah. So. Okay. I know it would have taken 3 minutes to get there, but I think it's funny that happened right after I opened the position. Why did that work? Again, while I'm still overall bullish, there is downward sentiment. This really struggled to get up here before grinding down, breaking some smaller lows. It's bouncing out of a low volume area up here. We're really in a P-shaped profile, but it doesn't want to go up into this super low volume area. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know why it just sold off like that, though. That's insane. But maybe you'll get a bounce to the other side here. Okay, so why would or wouldn't you take a long right now? I think because of this price action right here, because this just looks like a hump. And then the next big impulse couldn't even close above this. Couldn't break any of these highs. So I think even though this looks convincing and this looks convincing, I don't love that. Maybe we'll retest VWAP, but we're kind of bouncing off the bottom of this channel, but there you go. Takes you out. See, sometimes I'm not stupid, bro. Sometimes I'm not dumb. Staying out of trades is a skill. Being like a little bit of a break to the upside, but I'm still not. It's bouncing right at VWAP, so I think we're biased short right now. Overall. Especially because this guy just worked like a mug, and if you had a runner, it would still be working right now. Yeah. So that actually was a great entry to have a runner off of. Let's wrap up this day, and then we'll come back and hang on. We'll come back and kind of dissect where you could have targeted. So, okay. So we're breaking through the zone, so we're not too. This is not good. Rarely selling off. And remember, those of you trying to catch a bottom right now, if let me mansplain. If it came down here and bounced right away, you don't want to go long here. You want to wait until you get a bounce. Ideally, a zone. I think only if you get another zone. And then confirmation that this is reversing, which is a higher low here. And or if there's like a little high back here and you break that. That's the structure approach. That's the price action approach. And I think that's a great way to stay out of getting eaten up trying to catch bottoms and tops. I still have Creed stuck in my head. I've had Creed stuck in my head for like weeks now. And I'm not mad about it. I want to start another see, now this is starting to look like reversal with this, the way this structure is playing out. Okay. I know I keep saying it. I do want to start a new thing. What am I trying to say? You see, shit like this is where you're really getting bricked up. You're waiting for that bad boy to come here. But while you might be salivating about this zone right here, this one's not great, not horrible. Volume profile wise, like there is a volume gap above it, but there is also POC up here. And if this is P-shaped in a way that turns into a long day, like a bullish day, you're gonna get chewed up trying to go against POC. But we are kind of, a lot of volume is building down here, so that makes you think this could be turning into a reversal. There's a lot of people buying, but look at these big chunk of volume here. Like it did just pass straight through that. And if we try to catch a little short off of this zone and we're targeting something past this, like maybe this gap will fill, but this volume gap will fill, but maybe it will also just bounce straight out of this gap too. So I'd be a little cautious about seeing these nice juicy zones. They're like, oh, it's a zone and it's a VWAP. But you can't forget that in order to get up to this zone, price has to move against your bias. So if we're bearishly biased right now, it has to move bullish. And the way that it moves is like, here we go, more explaining. Okay, so if this is your big bear zone that you like, you're really excited about, VWAP is in it, and price comes up like the way it's coming up now, does this not look like an uptrend and or reversal? You might come up here, get a little reversal short, and then it smashes your stops. I think it would look better if it was more of still retaining bearish structure, just straight up, and then because this is just like I'm looking for liquidity, it's up here, okay. But this looks like kind of a reversal, so I'm a little cautious about shorting right now, and I have a W under my belt for the day, so I'm extra, I don't want to give that up. Okay, see it just, and once I said this 5 minutes ago, like, thank you, market, for not faking me out right here. Like this one could still bounce a little bit. Let's see. Okay, we didn't get through the rest of that. See, Damn, dude, I'm just on it today, man. This is a fakie. You know it's a fakie because of this, of all this shit going on up here, down here. You know it's a fakie because this didn't even complete the rest of the candle. It didn't break through the rest of the candle. It's like half the candle. There's a little bit of a wick in the bottom too. So some of your signals are there. They're not all there, baby. Okay? Just pay attention. Just what's the market telling you? What's the market telling you? This is where you need to get bricked up. Don't get bricked up when you're making like 100 points on a single trade. Get bricked up when you're not getting faked out by the market. Get bricked up when you're not making bad decisions. Get bricked up when you're reinforcing good habits. Okay. I'm sorry for talking so much today. I'm sorry for like explaining everything. This is just me. It's me explaining stuff to myself. Okay. It's me reinforcing things for my own trading. That's all it is. Don't take it personally, please. It might be annoying, but yeah. Yeah, so and then this just completely like I think there weren't a ton of stops. You had like a little bit of a stop run, but nothing crazy. I don't think a lot of people got faked out by that. This is just the follow through of like, okay, if this was our big juicy zone, or even this up here, when you see these reactions at it, you're like, okay, we know what's happening here. And the other thing is, I just used to get chewed up by that stuff all the time. By waiting for it to hit that big juicy zone, not realizing that I needed context to understand like this zone isn't as juicy as I thought. I used to just trade EMA, like 200 EMA plus supply and demand, and I don't. You can do that. You can make money with that. It's just a price action approach. But I used to wait. I used to have a 200 EMA, like kind of like we have. It serves similar purpose. But I like volume at prices. But anyways, I would have a 200 EMA. A big fat juicy short right here. This was like right when I started trading supply and demand. I'd be like, oh my god, this is the zone because it has a supply zone and an EMA, and then I would short right here. And I'd be like, this is it. It came to my big fat juicy zone. I wasn't looking at all this shit and just getting faked out and just watching that shit continue the other direction. So that's why context. That's what I think is the power of price action. That's what I think is so important. It's context, and it seems so simple, but I think one of the most important things is just like what the structure looks like around your trades. There's a cat. Okay, hang on. This turned out to be a good entry. Yeah. I would say, like, is this one that we would? I was yapping, so I didn't really pay attention to this entry right here. But would we take this? It's not the best. It's not the best zone, but there's like a few kind of like wicks here that are kind of liquidity. I don't like that this broke through this wick and then didn't get higher, but like you're getting higher. I think you can take that without. There's a little volume lump right there. I think you could take that without being too worried, especially if we expect this to continue. We also didn't draw these out here. I mean, Shit. You could have shorted on. You could have shorted for a few points on this one. I don't love that, but I think if you want to take a little less risk on that one, that's not a horrible place to enter. It's hard. I really got to pay attention and like not yap while the trade is happening, but yeah. I mean, look at that. That's 4 o'clock. Let's go back to our entry. I don't like this, dude. I'm coming back to this. Fuck that. No. All I yap about is this shit that's going on above your demand zone and vice versa. So that does not look good. Oops. Let's go back to here real quick. If you are shorting, as I did, and you want to take, you want to say, I like this, I'm going to leave a runner. Because this one did work out big time if you left a runner. Where are a few spots you could go to? You could hit the low of the day. I would be more. Well, I mean, you can have tiered runners. Oh, this is not showing. I think the value area low is right here. So, which is actually this bounce. So, I might actually be worried that if that's a value area low and we bounce really hard right there, we might be inclined to bounce again. That also coincides with the bottom of the green channel, so I like that as like a longer target. Otherwise, you know, you have that's the 1-to-1, but it's also the VWAP. Do you say VWAP or VWAP? I think it's stupid. I think trading's stupid, so it doesn't matter. Otherwise, the higher time frame zone, which perhaps are there some levels back here? There's this low. There's this low. I think if you think it's going to bounce out of this, like target this low. So what is that? 194. 194. It's just a smidge below the top, so it's like, I don't even know, man. Why would you not play? You know what I'm saying? Wow, wasted. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not be a little less risky? You know what I'm saying? Okay, so it hits 1, hits 2, hits 3, hits 4. It hits them all at the same time, actually. Like, it just blasts through all that shit. And actually, I was thinking the bottom was, I forgot that the bottom got cracked. The bottom of this, I was thinking it's a little lofty, but straight through that bit. So yeah, you could have made, I made 23 on this 1-to-1. You could have made 46. You could have made 142. You could have made 159. You could have made 174. And we'll probably just pop that in the video description or whatever so you can get some clickbait that nobody's going to click on. But that's it, baby. Just trade safe, pay attention. Yeah.